lie. Alright. So once again, this unit is called Congruent Triangles. Today you're going to learn how to prove triangles congruent. There are 5 ways to do this. And a lot of you like, well, can't you just look at them and see that they're congruent? No, you have to know. And there are 5 ways to know triangles are congruent. And these 5 different ways are just saying this is the information you would need to know on each triangle to know that they were congruent. So the first way to prove triangles congruent is called side-side-side congruency, or we call it SSS. This means that on both of your triangles, they're showing you that all 3 sides are congruent to each other. I'm going to mark that. I'm going to show you, and most times you're going to see it as markings. We're not going to really put numbers on them. I'm going to show you how the markings look. If they mark these 2 triangles like this, I'll know that this is side-side-side congruency. Now, the cute part is everything is turned the same way on the front. Your triangles will not be turned the same way. If you look at the back, you'll see how we'll kind of present it to you. For the most part, we just start you out on the front teaching it to you. So that's the first congruency, side-side-side. Second congruency, our way to prove congruency, is side-angle-side. Side-angle-side with the angle in the middle of the 2 sides being marked. And so it's 2 sides and an included angle. You have 2 sides marked congruent to each other, here and here, and then they'll mark the angle in the middle of those 2 sides congruent as well. You will read that as side-angle-side congruency. Another one is angle-side angle. This is when you have 2 angles marked congruent and a side in the middle of those 2 angles. So 2 angles and an included side. Angle, side, angle. 2 angles marked congruent and a side in the middle on both triangles. That will be angle, side, angle congruency. The next one is angle, angle, side. So you can have 2 angles and a non-included side marked on your figure, and you can still prove congruency on the triangles. So 2 angles and a side opposite of them. Here and here you have 2 angles marked, and then you'll have a side that's not in the middle of them marked. It could be this one or this one. This would be angle, angle, side congruency. And the last way to prove congruency, and this is only, and I'm going to highlight this, this is only when you have a right triangle can you do this. Only when you have right triangles you can prove hypotenuse leg congruency. So hypotenuse leg, or HL, is the hypotenuse and any one leg of a right triangle marked congruent to each other. So you have a right triangle, the hypotenuse has to be marked congruent to each other, and then any of the other 2 legs have to be marked. So I can mark this one and this one, but this is only for right triangles. You can't do a hypotenuse leg if you don't have a right triangle. So don't ever consider that unless you got a right triangle, a right angle in your triangle. And that's not necessarily saying that it's going to be a hypotenuse leg either. If the hypotenuse and one of the other legs are not marked, you can't prove HL. Alright, so those are the 5 ways to prove congruency. There are ways that you'll get that don't prove congruency. One of the ways, and I wrote it on the board, is side-side angle. That's if you have one of these triangles up here, not the right, because honestly, hypotenuse leg, if you look at it, if y'all, when I teach y'all how to read it, this kind of hypotenuse leg is side-side angle, but that doesn't count because it's a right triangle, so you consider this hypotenuse. I'm talking about for these triangles up here that are not right triangles. If they mark two sides and an angle that is not included congruent, I can't prove congruency with that. And there's a reason why, and I'll explain it to you later. I don't want to get too in depth with you on it today. I'll explain when we start doing proofs next week. You can't prove congruency with that. And we call it side angle, and I'm only going to say it once on video. I'll say it later a lot of times. But I usually say it the reverse way because that's the best way for y'all to remember it. Some kids will laugh, some might not, but this is honestly, my kids always remember it this way. And it's on the board, side angle, reverse, and some kids read it that way too. It's ASS. And I tell the kids every year, you can't prove triangles congruent when you get ass. So that's the best way to remember. If you get ASS when you're reading, you can't prove congruency with that. You get ass, it ain't congruent. And then another one is AAA. Anytime you read and you get angle, that won't prove congruency. And I can explain that one to you real quick. If two triangles have the same angles, that doesn't necessarily mean the triangle's congruent. That means they're similar. That means they're the same shape. Like you can have two equilateral triangles, for example. They'll both have all the same angles. They'll both have 60-degree angles all the way around. But one equilateral triangle could be bigger than the other one. See what I'm saying? One could be 5 feet all the way around. The other triangle could be 10 feet all the way around. But they're still going to have the same angle, 60, 60, 60 all the way around. So you can't prove congruency with angle, because you don't know if the triangle's congruent. You only know that they're similar. These are the 5 ways to prove congruency. Alright, down here at the bottom, this page is important too. Do not leave this at home no more for the rest of this unit. You're going to need it, especially next week when we start doing proofs. I'm going to refer back to this page a lot. And if you ask me for help doing proofs and you don't have this page, I'm not going to help you. And you know that to be true. And I'm saying it on video too, so your parents can hear it if you want to play it to them too. Do not leave this set of notes at home. This needs to come back with you every day. It's important. We're going to be, is honestly, we don't even call these notes. We call this a reference sheet. It is, because we're going to need it for the rest of this unit. It's a reference sheet that you're going to refer to. Down here are reasons that we give for sides being congruent and angles being congruent when we're writing a proof. We're going to be using this stuff next week. Do not leave this at home. I'm not even going to go through this right now because it's not going to make sense to you right now per se. It's not going to make sense to you until we start actually writing the proofs. But this is a reference sheet. We're going to come back and use this. And I'm going to refer to this next week. Make sure you bring it back to school. Only thing I want to do with y'all today is teach y'all how to read the congruencies. On the back. Let's try. And I told you, on the back, they're not going to be turned the same way. So, this is you learning. And don't worry, we all doing this together, so don't get frustrated. We'll figure it out. Directions. Compare the triangles and determine whether they can be proven congruent. If possible, by side, angle, side, angle, side, angle, angle, side, or hypotenuse leg. Write your answer in the box. If it's not one of those things, if it's one of our other two, or sometimes it'll be another situation too where they don't give you enough information to determine anything, we'll just write not congruent. But if it's one of those 5 choices right there, we're going to write one of those 5 choices down. Number 1, this first one. We got 2 triangles here. They are both marked. Only thing is, unlike the front, these 2 triangles are connected. Anytime the triangles touch, they share something. They're either going to share a side or an angle. In this case, if you look at these 2 triangles right here, what are they sharing? A side or an angle? Oh boy. They're sharing a side, right? Specifically this side right here. We don't know the name of the side, but you should be able to see that they share that side. I'm gonna mark that side congruent to itself. They're sitting on this. Those are sharing a side. Let me show you an example when they share an angle. Look down at number 5. You see those 2 triangles? Number 5, those share an angle. You get the difference? I'm asking. I really need y'all to see. 1, they sharing a side. 5, they're sharing an angle. Alright. So when you get ready to read the congruency on this one, you don't want to look at both triangles. You only want to look at one, and you want to look at where the most of the information is at to read it. So I'm only going to look at one triangle, the one to the left here. And when I'm reading this, all my information is pretty much bunched up right here. There's really nothing marked on this side of the triangle over here, or in this area. So I'm going to read it through here. And I'm not going to start in the middle with this side. I'm going to read my information kind of top to bottom, or bottom to top, or left to right if our triangles are that way. So in this one, I would read this as angle, side, angle, congruency. Because they got angle marked here, side, then angle here. This will be ASA congruency to me. Or if you're going to read it top to bottom, angle, side, angle. What you don't want to do is what some of my kids do, which doesn't make sense. Don't start in the middle and then work your way around. Like, let's start here and say side, angle, come all the way around the triangle and then say angle. That's not how you read it. When all the information is kind of together like this, you read it from, like I said, top to bottom, or if it's turned this way, left to right, right to left. Don't try to go around. A rule of thumb with this: if you're going around the triangle reading for congruency, if more than one thing is missing, like for example, if you like some of my kids who try to read it this way, they'll start here at this angle and then come around this way and say angle and then read around and say angle, side. That's wrong, because one, there's so much information missing right here. If more than one thing is missing, then you can't go in the wrong way. For example, when I read this way and I say angle, and then I got a side marking missing, then I got an angle marking missing, I already know I'm going the wrong way. And then another side marking is missing. No. If more than one piece of information is missing, you're reading the wrong way. And so this is going to be a practice thing for some of y'all. Some of y'all not going to be able to see it right off the bat. Number 2. On this one, the two triangles are connected again. What do they share, an angle or a side? A side. They share that third side. I'm going to mark that side congruent as well. Just say, Vion, what congruency are they showing you here? Jeremiah. They're showing you side, side, side congruency. What's marked, bro? All the sides, right? Are any angles marked? So don't say anything about angles. This is side, side, side congruency. I told y'all common sense. It's going to evade some of y'all. These two aren't connected. It might be a little bit easier to read. Who want to make their attempt? Go ahead, Billy. Angle, angle, side, congruency. Good. This is AAS. Angle, angle, side. Or even if you read it backwards, you still understand. When you read it backwards, just flip your letters around. Some kids will be like, oh, this is side, angle, angle. Or SAA. Well, we didn't teach you SAA, but we did teach you angle, angle, side. So you're just reading it backwards. Just flip it around in your mind. Understand that it's angle, angle, side. Same thing. Let's talk about reading on this one. So I have kids that'll look at this one real quick. Let me go back to this one. I want to teach this well. I have kids that read this one and be like, oh, this is angle, side, angle. What's wrong with reading it like this? Angle, side, angle. Go ahead, Rama.
The side isn't between the angles?
Yeah, one, the side is in between the angles, so that would definitely be wrong. And then the other thing, like I told you, rule of thumb, reading it this way, too much stuff is missing to be going that way. If I say angle, side, and then I'm missing the angle mark, I'm missing the side mark, and too much is missing to try to read it that way. You're going the wrong route. You should be reading it like this: side, angle, angle, or angle, angle, side, which Billy read it as. Thank you. Number 4. Before I ask you what it is, what do they share? A side. I would mark that if I were you. Miss Buck, you had your hand up. You was gonna try to answer number 4. Huh? I can barely hear you. Hypotenuse leg? Yeah. HL. Now I want to remind you, some kids will read this as angle side side or ASS, but that doesn't apply on this one because these are right triangles, so we can think about the hypotenuse leg there. But if you read it on another one, you will read it on some that are not right triangles. Understand those are ASS and that's not congruent, or SSA. Let me even make a note on this one. ASS does not apply for right triangles. Tim, number 5. Before you start or guess anything, let's talk first. Tim, what are these two triangles sharing? A point. My God.
A side? Is that still considered a side?
No.
No, it's an angle.
And an angle.
And y'all should all know this. What type?
Oh my gosh.
And somebody educate the rest of the kids in the class. What type of angles are these specifically? Because we all know what these are. Oh, there we go. Now it's coming back. Vertical angles, right? So you know these two triangles are sharing those same vertical angles right there. They're congruent. What's up? Huh? Yeah. That being said, Tim, now that we've marked it, how would you read this?
Side angle side. And side angle.
Side angle? Okay. So that being said, what's up? And remember, for some of y'all, let me mark it. For some of y'all going to try to look at both triangles. We're only looking at one triangle to read our congruency. We're not looking at both. Look at the one to the left. Don't look at both. And Tim read it right. Side angle. So what's up?
It's flipping ASS.
Oh, so ASS. Okay. So what's up?
Wait,
Yeah, I'm
Jeremiah? Stop whispering. Say it louder. They're not congruent. You can't prove congruency with this. No congruency here. Not congruent. This is ASS. This is what ASS looks like. If you get that, you can't prove congruency with that. Alright, sliding on. This is going to help us with proofs later. On this one, these two triangles are connected, but the way they're connected is a little bit different. They don't necessarily share an angle here. Those angles are not vertical, just because of the way they're connected. But they do show you something else on here. What do these little arrows mean on these two triangles? On these two sides, yeah, right? They're parallel, yes? So that's saying this side. Well, I'm going to extend this out a little bit so you can see parallel lines. I'm just extending it out so you can see it as parallel lines. Remember when we did parallel lines and transversals? Anytime you got that situation, these two are parallel like this and connected, you can consider this line right here transversal, meaning that the angles on this transversal, specifically this one and this one, I know are congruent. How do I know those two angles are congruent? What's the relationship from parallel lines and transversals? Anybody remember? Nobody remember what that angle relationship is called? Nope. Same position on the same side of the transversal. What was that angle relationship called?
Corresponding.
Thank you, Emra. Corresponding. These are corresponding angles. You're going to need to recognize this. When we get ready to write proofs next week, they're going to expect you to be able to recognize that and mark that relationship to help you prove. Now that we marked that, Emma, you might as well finish this one off. I've marked it and I got enough now to call out a congruency. What congruency is this? Angle, side, angle congruency. Angle, side, angle. Devin, number 7 is all you, man. Number 7, Devin, what these triangles are connected, what do they share? I'm gonna ask you again, Devin, these triangles are connected, what do they share? I told you everybody's not gonna be able to see. That's why I'm teaching this. You see that they share a side though, right? This side right here, mark it, 2 markings, so you can see it. After you mark it, Devin, what congruency are you gonna call out for me? Only look at one triangle though. Just look at the one to the left or the right. Don't look at both. Oh, Ms. Rodriguez ready. I'm gonna come back to you, Devin. Rodriguez, what you got? I asked Ms. Rodriguez. Oh, no, he thought I said Rodriguez, his name. No, Ms. Rodriguez. Thank you. Side angle side. Don't worry, Rodriguez. I got one for you. Oh, Mr. Carson. And side angle side congruency, good. Let's get somebody who be struggling, not a difficult one. Now, put your hand down, Tyler. Who back over there? Jameen, number 8. These 2 triangles, they share what? Huh? Share a side, okay. So I'll mark it here. After that, what's the congruency? Good, SSS. Thank you, sir. Okay, Tylee, number 9. Yeah, HL. Now on this one, they do share angles right here. And here, vertical angles. But you don't really need that on this because they already gave you enough information on this one. You got a right triangle, and then they got the hypotenuse marked on both. And they got an additional leg marked on both. So this is HL. But you could, if you wanted to, you could say angle, angle side if you wanted as well. It could be AAS. But you got enough information, you don't have to fill nothing in. Lucia, number 10. These triangles share what? An angle. In the middle here, I'm going to do 2 markings because they already got one angle marked with 1 marking. Make sure y'all marking these up as I go too, because you're going to have to mark your proofs up like this. I'm showing you how to mark angles. Let's see what you think. Angle, angle, side. It's going good today. My teaching is getting better every year. Huh? It's not y'all, it's me. It's me, definitely me. Rodriguez, Mr. Carson, this for you, number 11. First, what do they share? Share side. I'll mark it. What you think, man? Why not? Good. I wondered how you was gonna play this. Smart. On this one, you can't prove congruency on this one, not because it's something that is illegal. It's just that they don't give us enough information. It's exactly what he just said. They only give you one pair of sides that are congruent, and one pair of angles. That's only two things. You need three things to prove congruency. That's not enough information. This would be a not congruent, and reason being up here, not enough info, we'll abbreviate, to prove congruency. I prove congruent. Excellent, man. I thought I was going to trick you on that one. That will happen sometimes. They won't give you enough stuff. Just roll with it. This last one. I'm always interested on this one. Number 12. Oh, this might be a Rama problem. Huh? What? The last one? Nah, I'm going to show you why. So on this one, it's bells. I'm sure the first thing you notice, Rama, is that they share what? Share vertical angles right here and here. Now, if you stop right there, of course, you're probably going to read this as ASS. But you shouldn't stop right there because they give you something else on these triangles. These arrows showing you what? Parallel lines. Now, I can extend out again if you want me to. I'm going to do it anyway. My extensions haven't been good today, though. Here and here. So they want you to know other stuff about these triangles. Anytime they give you parallel lines on a triangle, I can tell you this. They want you to think about those angle pair relationships that we learned before. Specifically, one of the two things. Either corresponding angles that you can find in the triangles, or, well, I don't want to tell you what the other ones are yet. I want to mark them. I don't want to. So they're saying these two sides are parallel. These two sides right here are parallel. That means this is a transversal and that this is a transversal. On this transversal here, they don't have it labeled, but this one here, I can see that this angle and this angle would be congruent on this transversal. Let me highlight it in yellow. On this transversal right here, I can see that those two angles that I just marked are congruent. How do I know those are congruent, Rama? What's the angle relationship? You remember? Alternate what? Alternate what? Alternate interior angles. That is their relationship. Alternate interior angles. So I know they're congruent. And also the other way, Rama, the same excuse here and here on this other transversal. Same thing. I know those are alternate interior angles as well. I can mark all that congruent, and I know all that about this triangle just by knowing those parallel lines. That being said, there's multiple ways I can prove congruency on this. Rama, give me one. You can do angle, side, angle. I'll put that in the box. You definitely can read that by going here, angle, side, angle. What's another one? Yes, you can do angle, angle, side as well. So you can say AAS. I can go angle, angle, side, or skip one, angle, angle, side, however you want to see it. What's the other one? Side, angle, side. I can say side, angle, side right there. So and this one has a lot. I just wanted to show you that one. Good. We executed that pretty well, guys. You know what we gotta do? We gotta practice this. It's coloring sheet. Yeah, it's not hard. I think it's gonna be pretty quick too. I don't even know if I care about that so much right now. I kind of want to get that to you for homework. Go to the computer. I want you to do the ones on the computer first. Go to Delta. By the time you get there, I have it created. Oh, let me stop my recording.